2701. Some assumptions that notions of space, that is, a three-dimensional area in which events and objects occur and have relative direction and position, are universal, are being re-examined. Stephen Levinson showed that systems of spatial reckoning and description can in fact be quite divergent across cultures, linguistic differences correlating with distinct cognitive tendencies. More specifically, languages vary in their use of spatial concepts and, in some instances, determine the cognitive categories relating to space concepts. Also, the speakers of a number of languages do not use spatial terms corresponding to the bodily coordinates of left, right, and front, back. One example comes from the Tenejapa Tzeltal of Mexico. Their language uses no relative frame of reference and therefore has no terms for spatial reference that would correspond to left, right, front, and back. Although terms exist for left hand and right hand, they do not extend to other parts of the body or to areas external to it. 2702. Languages are far more similar than had previously been thought, and that universality suggests that the human brain is designed to understand the world in certain ways, which may also correspond to the structure of reality. Thus, all languages have nouns and verbs, modifiers, adverbs and adjectives, and names and pronouns. Languages may differ as to the sequence of words in a sentence, e.g., verb in the middle or at the end, but sentences are always used. Even the sequence of words does not vary as widely as it could. Steven Pinker says that there are 128 possible orderings of the main parts of a sentence, but most languages use one of only two of those possibilities. Crucially, most languages seem to have an almost identical list of concepts, and as a result nearly all words and sentences can be translated effectively from one language into another. 2703. Some performers manipulate the style of their product to shift the incentives of critics to pay attention. Richard Posner cites Shakespeare, Nietzsche, Wittgenstein, and Kafka as figures who owe part of their reputation to the puzzling and perhaps even contradictory nature of their writings. Unclear authors, at least if they have substance and depth, receive more attention from critics and require more textual interpretation. Individual critics can establish their own reputations by studying such a writer and by promoting one interpretation of that writer's work over another. These same critics will support the inclusion of the writer in the canon, to promote the importance of their own criticism. In effect, deep and ambiguous writers are offering critics implicit invitations to serve as co-authors of a broader piece of work. Critics respond by examining these works more closely and spreading their fame more widely.